I'm not even playing cards, and somehow I pulled a queen. What's up, guys? Welcome back to videos that Elizabeth films because she forgot to edit a video. That's me. That's my bad. That's my bad. My bad. Please forgive me. But I do have a concept today. So we did pickup lines the first time. Today I would like to do jokes. What makes a joke funny and what makes a joke unfunny? Excellent question, my peer. What makes a joke funny is, first of all, honestly, who tells them? Is it a friend that's telling you this joke? Is it a family member that's telling you this joke? Is it somebody you like, you dislike? Is it a stranger on the road? That does have something to do with it. But the second thing is how the joke was made, if that makes sense. There are some jokes, like a knock-knock joke, that is just genuinely unfunny. Knock-knock. Who's there? Interrupting cow. Moo! That's not funny. That's not funny. It also depends on the age range. A 5-year-old would laugh at that because they're surprised at the moo! But of course, anybody would be surprised by that, because if they don't know the joke. But the thing is, adults, they don't like being interrupted. High schoolers, they don't like, anyone outside of elementary school doesn't like being interrupted. It's not fun, it's not engaging, it doesn't even spark a conversation, because now you just showed them that your talking means nothing. You moo, why don't you moo? Okay, I don't want to talk to you anymore, I'm just gonna walk away. That should never be your first joke, because then you're going to go back to it. The thing about a first joke is it's supposed to be funny enough where you can cut back to it. Like a joke about sports, or a joke about, I don't know, your dad not getting back from getting milk or something like that. Or something about books, something about freaking art. So when your first joke is interrupting the other person, and then you come back to it over and over again, that person's just going to walk away from you. So lean far away from jokes that, especially the first time you're meeting somebody, or just in general, lean away from jokes that interrupt people, lean away from jokes that make fun of people personally, lean away from jokes that make fun of people's, like realistically speaking, just don't make jokes that make fun of the person as a whole. Because you don't know what that person deems funny or unfunny. So when you make a joke about them, or maybe their body, or maybe their personality, it's a little dangerous. That person's going to walk away, maybe beat you up, maybe never talk to you again, maybe block you from the bar, from the Instagram. Who the flip knows? So what I'm trying to tell you is those jokes aren't funny, because that steers the conversation where you want it, where you want it to go, but where you don't want it to go. The interrupting joke, then you're going to interrupt them more and more. The thing about their body, now you're going to talk about their body the whole time. The thing about their personality, actually, you could be careful about that. In some situations, that personality joke can work, but it really depends on what you're talking about. Like, are you generalizing like a nerd or a jock, or are you doing something more specific and attention to detail? That could go somewhere. But in general, jokes like that, when it's personality and generalizing that person's personality, that's a little tricky and dangerous. But jokes that work are jokes that actually steer conversations. For example, I couldn't figure out why the baseball kept getting larger. Then it hit me. That's funny. That's funny. Do you know why? Because the person's gonna laugh, and then you can go, hey, by the way, do you watch any baseball? Are you into sports? Boom, a conversation starter. And if they say no, be like, I get that. I understand that. Any reason you're not interested? What are you interested in? Boom, that gets you somewhere. That gets you to steer the conversation wherever you want. If they are into baseball, boom, you nailed it on the dot. If they're not into baseball, but they're into sports, boom, you nailed it on the dot. If they're not into sports at all, boom, switch the conversation. What are you interested in? You guide me. I open the floor, and if you don't guide me, it means you don't want to be friends, and that's okay. Move away. But if they do end up guiding you somewhere, that's great. It means you just made your first step to getting to know somebody. and make a friend. And that's awesome, and that's great, and that's perfect. Another really good joke that I really love, something else that can get you started, is, hey, like, are you into any books? I'm reading a book on anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down. Boom, that gets you science and reading and books. And honestly, that is a huge opener. It gets you to talk about books. What kind of books are you into? What's your genre? What's your favorite thing? Or science. What do you think about anti-gravity, antimatter, anti-mass? Are you taking any classes in physics and biology? Do you even go to college? That stirs you into so many different directions. And also, this is one of those jokes that honestly opens the floor for both them and you, because you both get to pick and choose what part of the joke you enjoyed the most. I personally, in this joke, I really enjoyed the part about the books, so I might steer the conversation to books, but maybe you, the person I'm talking to, really enjoyed the part about anti-gravity, or it's impossible to put down, could make your personality seem like you're one of those people that's just really into stuff and you love passionately, and that's really cool. That's a personality trait that some people are really into as like friends and as besties, and I really love that. You know what I mean? Another really funny joke. This one is one of those tricky ones. Honestly, this is a joke you would say to like you both acknowledge the fact that this is a bad joke. Like the first two jokes, I don't think they're bad jokes. This joke is like one of those jokes that is about like body and personality. And this joke could work if you both acknowledge the fact that it's a joke. Like genuinely. And if you think that they won't acknowledge it, don't say this joke. This is one of those like 50-50 jokes. And honestly, I'd say it's one of those 40-60 jokes. Most of the time, it's probably not going to work. But maybe in a friend environment that you already are aware of and already know, this could be the funniest thing ever. And you have to say it in kind of an accent, in kind of one of those Chicago, it's not a Chicago accent, but in one of those, the wife, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be one of those. And this is how the joke goes. And like, again, it's a tricky joke, and some people will not find this funny, and some people might find this funny. It really depends on how good you are at telling a joke, but this is how it goes. You know, the other day, like you're just talking, right? You're talking like, hey, like, what's up? Hey, can I tell you a joke real quick? Like, just tell me if it's funny, okay? You know, I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised. No kidding, huh? Like, make sure that you both know that this is a joke. Little tricky. I personally wouldn't recommend this joke. I personally wouldn't say this joke. This is one of those jokes that like is an example of a joke to avoid. This is one of those examples of like, you're talking about somebody's body, you're talking about somebody's like personality, of like, they like makeup, like she looks shocked, I don't know. It's not a dangerous joke, but I would be like, you need to know this person in order to say this joke, because it could go both ways. But it is funny in the sense of like, if you use a funny accent, if you make sure you use body language, and if you're both aware that this is a joke and that this isn't your personality, like the wife and she looks shocked, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those dismissive jokes, but depending on what your personality is and how good you are at making sure these types of jokes are meant as just jokes, it could go pretty funny, and you could get someone to laugh and honestly end up buying you a beer. Truth be told, if it's that good and if you say it that well. Because, I mean, it talks about, like, makeup. It talks about, like, the shocking part is honestly really funny with the eyebrows too high. And if you do it in like kind of a dismissive way, and like, I told the wife the other day she was drawing her eyebrows, like, that could be viewed as funny too. If you just say outright, you know, I told the wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high, she looked surprised. Like, it's not that funny. If you use an accent, if you make it kind of dismissive, but the person knows that you're not trying to be dismissive, I think this joke could land. But again, this joke goes 50-50, and it's just an example of one of those jokes that, like, I wouldn't recommend on a first-time basis if you're getting to know somebody. But the first two, the one about the sports, the one about the books, the one about, like, the anti-gravity, like, those jokes, those types of jokes that are joking about a topic, that are joking about a franchise, that are joking about a sports or a sports team or a sports league, those are really good conversation starters, but also you need to generalize them. You can't make fun of a specific sports team if you're getting to know somebody, because what if they love that sports team? Boom, friendship ended. And so, like, those generalized jokes really could get you to open up these conversations and could get you, I don't know, a friendship you've always wanted? I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like this was a good example of like, what are two jokes that are genuinely really good starters, and what's one that could be a little tricky and maybe jokes to avoid on a first time basis, unless you're genuinely really good at them. Like, be self-aware enough to understand like what you are good at, what you are able to have others perceive you to be. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I have today. I just want to talk about jokes because the first time I talked about pickup lines, and the second time I talked about, and this time I just wanted to talk about jokes because, I don't know, jokes can be super funny, depending on how you say them, depending on who you're saying them to. But I feel like, again, like, these types of jokes, like, when you meet somebody, could seriously, like, get you to start could get you to start getting to know somebody, and could lead, sorry, I can't speak anymore, could lead you to have more in-depth conversations about the joke that you just mentioned. Because the first time you talk, a lot of the times, those conversations are going to come back to the first joke you ever said. Like, and after you're done with talking about sports, you're like, oh, well, do you like baseball? Or like, oh, do you watch the baseball league? Or, oh, do you know junior baseball? Oh, like, did you do it as a kid? You know, like, again, like, and that goes to then the childhood and stuff like that. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like, everything has its place. Pickup lines has its place. Jokes have their place. It's just being self-aware enough to understand, like, what type of person am I? How can I deliver jokes? And also, who am I delivering them to? Who's your audience? But I always recommend jokes that are generalized because, I don't know, it feels like it's really good conversation openers, conversation starters. And also, it can really carry the conversation when you're out of things to say. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry that I completely forgot to edit a video, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys are into, like, me ranting and me talking about random things. I really love doing it. I hope it makes you guys smile and laugh. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.